Molini, and welcome to yet another episode of Conversations with Langosi. Now, this is the news commentary section where we will be offering insightful commentary and exploring various perspectives on the stories that shape our world. In today's video, we will be discussing the recent comments made by South Africa's former Chief Justice Mogoeng regarding President Cyril Ramaphosa's failure to disclose his campaign donors. Let's get into it. To set the stage, let's begin by examining the significance of the former Chief Justice's comments and why it has sparked national debate. In a recent gathering at the inaugural SAFM public lecture, former Chief Justice Mogoeng stated that President Ramaphosa should have disclosed his campaign donors during his presidential campaign, which makes sense because an advocate of transparency and discipline should not be exempted from also being scanned through to affirm its commitment to fighting corruption and promoting equality without it feeling forced. Can you guys remember what happened when the former public protector investigated the president's campaign finances and found that he failed in his ethical duty to disclose donations made to fund his campaign to claim the ANC presidency and ultimately become the president of the Republic of South Africa? Remember how she also found that some of the payments made to his campaign raised a reasonable suspicion of money laundering and ordered that the president disclose all his donations to Parliament? Well, those findings and directives were roundly rejected by the Constitutional Court's majority. Now, let's get into the issue of donor transparency. Despite having campaign finance regulations in place, political parties and candidates often receive substantial financial support from various sources. We cannot ignore the fact that the lack of disclosure regarding these donors raises concerns about corruption, undue influence, and conflicts of interest. Many argue that the public has the right to know who is funding political campaigns to ensure accountability and ethical governance. To better understand the context of Chief Justice Mogoeng's comments, let's examine President Ramaphosa's 2017 ANC presidential campaign. During his campaign, Ramaphosa promised to prioritize transparency and fight corruption. However, it was later revealed that he had received substantial financial support from prominent individuals and businesses, both within South Africa and abroad. Critics argue that if Ramaphosa had disclosed his campaign donors at the time, it would have provided valuable insight into potential conflicts of interest. They point to specific policies and decisions made during his presidency that may have benefited these donors, subsequently raising questions about the integrity of these actions. Let us get into this article published via the SABC News website. Former Chief Justice Mogoeng says that President Cyril Ramaphosa had a duty to disclose who funded the CR17 campaign. Mogoeng delivered the inaugural SAFM lecture today under the theme Constitutionalism and Upholding the Rule of Law in South Africa. During his speech, the former Chief Justice addressed the consequential failure to disclose as a sure, albeit unintended, recipe for corruption under the cover for the facilitation of a well-structured mechanism or legal stratagem having the inescapable effect of evading accountability. The president therefore had the duty to know, if he did not know already, who was funding his campaign, and to disclose that personal benefit composedly as a benefit from the CR17 campaign as an entity, or more appropriately from each donor, with a specified amount. Why? So that Parliament and the public could know who was helping or had helped him to perform better than his competitors and enabled him to become ANC president and a few months later president of the Republic. He adds, Ramaphosa frustrated the efforts of the Office of the Public Protector by withholding the truth during its CR17 probe. Mogoeng says that the emails exposed the falsehood of the version of the president and the CR17 campaign managers. He demands more than once that the public protector should explain to him how and from whom she obtained this admittedly truthful but reputationally damaging emails. Not once does he explain why he and his team chose not to tell the truth, but to rather mislead the public protector as he did. Instead, he says that the emails are in any event irrelevant to the public protector's findings, but that cannot be correct, for not only are the emails relevant, but they also expose the falsehood of the version that the president and the CR17 campaign managers chose to present to the public protector. However, not all voices support the former Chief Justice's stance. Unlike this minister, who was quick to fire shots at the retired CJ by saying that he wanted to lead from the grave, which is weird coming from her, the president's supporters assert that the CR17 campaign's funding was obtained legally and that they adhered to existing regulations. They went on to argue that there is no immediate need for the president to disclose the identities of the donors since they did not gain any undue advantages. Furthermore, they point out that disclosing the names of donors could have potential negative consequences, such as retaliation against the contributors who supported the president's campaign. They argue that maintaining anonymity allows individuals to exercise their democratic right to contribute financially without fear of repercussions. Additionally, the political fallout surrounding this topic cannot be ignored. The issue has further deepened existing divisions within the ruling party and wider public opinion because, again, the retired CJ just touched onto a topic that cost people their posts. He touched onto a topic that we've been talking about, and he touches onto a topic, that just exposes the president and his people, guys, for being liars. Decorated liars. It is evident that the statement by former Chief Justice Mogoeng emphasizing President Cyril Ramaphosa's duty to disclose the funders of the CR17 campaign has ignited a spirited debate in South Africa. The argument brings into focus the principles of transparency, democracy, and political accountability, while the absence of comprehensive campaign finance legislation in South Africa and concerns of potential repercussions highlight the complexities of the matter. The importance of transparency and accountability in modern democracies cannot be understated. As this topic continues to evolve, it is crucial for citizens, policymakers, and legal experts to engage in thoughtful discussions to ensure that ethical standards are upheld and democracy thrives. That marks the end of today's video. Thank you so much for lending your eyes and ears. I hope that you found today's video informative. Please do not forget to click on that subscription button or light the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any new uploads. Enkosini.